I can feel it. I can feel it coming. You guys think I'm crazy, but I know something. I worked with the government. I worked with the government for a year. It was very lucrative. I worked with a FEMA agent for a year, and I've got some special knowledge. Remember, this is all for parody and entertainment purposes only, especially when I'm talking about the big G, the government, not the other big G, the Freemasons. But FEMA and the Illuminati, they got a plan for you to get you in camps. And they got two methods, really. I'm part of this plan. I don't know if I sold my soul to the devil or anything like that, but I said yes. I said, you know what? I'll take my pups. I'll take my pups and I'll form a giant cult and I'll make a prediction they can't deny. See, they already believe I can predict the future. It's pretty surreal. 25,000 people on Twitter and 4,820 people on YouTube presumably follow me and subscribe to me because they believe I can predict the future. And I kind of can. I kind of can. But this video isn't about me. Like I've always said, it's really about you. See, this video started at 3:29. The reason this video started at 3:29 is because 2 plus 9 is 11. And on March 11th, like 3/11, we've had some pretty significant events. One of them was this tsunami in Japan. Another one was the pandemic was declared officially a pandemic on March 11th. So March 11th is an important date. Mara, for the stock fans, means the water. It bottomed at 3.11, the water, like the tsunami. But yeah, FEMA and the Illuminati, they got a secret plan to get you in camps. And I worked with FEMA for a year. So I'm going to tell you that plan because I believe this event is approaching and I'm part of it. You're part of it. So there's an episode of Ancient Aliens where they say celestial beings cause natural disasters. And they say there were numerous UFO sightings in Japan before the megaquake. Were they helping with the Fukushima nuclear disaster? Did they cause the earthquake? Do they want to invade the planet? All that fun stuff. But I know it seems silly, but it's all about the aliens. Do you remember when someone told you there was a scary virus in the air? And they showed us pictures of people in China just laying on the ground, and everyone was like, this is kind of ridiculous, right? But then eventually what happened is people were wearing masks, they were staying 6 feet apart, they were doing all this ridiculous stuff, they were getting boosters for a virus, even though they were being told it wasn't safe or effective. They even had Dr. Sanjay Gupta go on CNN and say that mixing a Pfizer vaccine with a Moderna vaccine was safe, effective, and they even said it had been tested. It had been tested. So they rushed all this out with Operation Warp Speed, and what happened? People went along with it. So I know you think this is all silly, but this is the psyop. This is the New World Order agenda. It's so important. And after all of these predictions come true, you are going to see me as a godlike cult leader. And this is my assignment that FEMA has given me. So this is all about the aliens. This is all for parody and entertainment purposes only. This is all a joke. None of this is true. Okay, nothing about FEMA is true. Nothing about the Illuminati is true. Remember, this is all for parody and entertainment purposes only. That's very important to understand. We're going to get into the ultimate conspiracy theory. People are noticing, people are waking up. They're saying, damn, we've had a lot of earthquakes being popped off this year. They're saying, damn, we've had a lot of airplane problems popping off this year. They're starting to wake up. And they're noticing a pattern. We have more earthquakes and we have more airplane problems. And I'm here to tell you that these things are going to continue. We had a now downgraded, pretty big earthquake in San Diego this morning. And I'm here to tell you these earthquakes are going to keep coming. And they're going to keep getting bigger. And they're going to keep getting more frequent. How do I know that? I'm not a seismologist. What's going on here? Well, one of the good things about me is I'm not really biased. If there's a group of people and, they've got an opinion and everyone says they're crazy, I'll go take what they're saying and I'll see is it true. No matter who they are, no matter what political spectrum, if they have an opinion, I'll really consider the merit of it and really try to see both sides of the argument. And so Q-Anon was one of these groups, and they believe some pretty interesting things, but more importantly, they make some pretty interestingly accurate predictions. One of their leaders is Trader Girl Q. She says, here is why I believe San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge is the mark of the Black Swan event that leads to the Great Awakening. Elon Musk posted on September 11th, 2023, must be great nets, with an image of Golden Gate. Strange day to be posting a random case of $400 million in fraud and waste. So she believes San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge is going to be destroyed. Well, how is San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge going to be destroyed? It's probably going to be destroyed with a massive earthquake that causes a tsunami. They've pointed out something interesting to me, too. If you put your glasses on, you can notice that Joe Biden is wearing a mask. You can see this square around his ear. And I've zoomed in on it. I'm not talking about this black mask. I'm talking about this mask. This square by his ear. Remember, Donald Trump was shot in the ear because this is programming for, if you look at the ears of some of these liberal politicians, you'll notice that they all appear to be wearing masks, or some of them do. Joe Biden certainly does appear to be wearing a mask in this video. And Joe Biden has some interesting gaffes. He multiple times referred to Donald Trump as the sitting president. And he multiple times said that he was in the Navy. Now, that doesn't make any sense because Donald Trump wasn't apparently the sitting president. And Joe Biden was not in the Navy. So why is Joe Biden wearing a mask? Why is he saying that Donald Trump is the sitting president during his term? And why is he saying he was in the Navy? Is this just a gaffe, or is there something more going on here? So they've been simulating this for a while. In 2022, FEMA had the Cascadia Rising scenario where they looked at the possibility of a 9.0 magnitude earthquake in the Cascadia subduction zone. Now, I've actually gone over these links, and it's interesting to note that complete severe damage, basically everything west of I-5 could occur. Severe damage if there was a 9.0 magnitude earthquake during on the Cascadia subduction zone. So they've simulated this as recently as 2022. And FEMA also has some interesting provisions. They've already redistricted the United States into 10 regions. And if you look at this district, District 10, this is where I was assigned to form a giant cult because this is where the Cascadia subduction zone and the Seattle fault zone are located. So when these uncannily accurate predictions come true, you're going to see me as a godlike cult leader, but I'm here to tell you the government has told me this would happen. I'm not using special powers. The government has told me that this is going to happen, and they've come to my house and they've asked me to form a large cult that knows about all of this. Because when the Cascadia subduction zone erupts with a 9.0 magnitude earthquake, there is going to be severe damage west of I 5, running down Washington and Oregon. And those have some major population centers. Vancouver will also be affected by this as well. So, Puppy Trades, you're predicting a big earthquake on the Cascadia subduction zone and the Seattle fault zone. Well, aren't isn't that really kind of a, just a possibility, right? I mean, even the government is simulating this. So you're basically just telling me that there's a possibility that there's going to be a massive earthquake on the Cascadia subduction zone. Well, I'm going to give you a few more details. I'm going to give you a few more details than that. I'm not just going to predict a massive earthquake in Seattle and on the Cascadia subduction zone. I'm going to tell you that they are going to blame this earthquake on aliens. And I'm even going to tell you the name of the planet they're going to blame this earthquake on. They're going to blame this on aliens from planet Nibiru. That's a guarantee. I guarantee you there will be a massive Cascadia subduction zone and Seattle fault zone earthquake. And I guarantee you they will blame it on an approaching planet called Planet Nibiru, aka Planet X. Pretty distinct prediction. Speaking of distinct observations, did you notice a lot of people broke their foot? Yeah, a lot of people broke their foot in the early 2020s. This guy, not OpQ, says Bon Jovi, Daniel Craig, Guthrie, Halle Berry, Jessie J, Kobe, LaBeouf, LeBron, Osborne, Paltrow, Phelps, Rihanna, Serena Williams, Spears, Ramsey, Saradon, Schwarzenegger, Usher, and Witherspoon. They all broke their foot. They all broke their foot at the exact same time. Man. Even Joe Biden broke his foot. And I think this is another picture of Joe Biden wearing a mask. This picture is the clear proof Joe Biden is wearing a mask. But this one I also think is pretty distinct. It's kind of obvious that he's wearing a mask. In this one, you can see this clear line at his neck. This doesn't look to be like lighting or camera work. It looks like, just like in this picture, Joe Biden is wearing a mask, and he also broke his foot. Man, so everyone's breaking their foot. What's going on here? Well, this group, Q-Anon, believes that what's been going on is that these people were tried in military tribunals, and that during the pandemic, all these liberal celebrities and liberal politicians were telling you to stay home and wear a mask. Why? Because they were under house arrest. And what happened to many of them? They got a lethal injection. No, I'm not talking about the COVID vaccine. I'm talking about a lethal injection. But we had scores of liberal celebrities and liberal politicians, one, die from a lethal injection, two, tell you to stay home. Well, they were telling you to stay home because they were under house arrest for consuming a drug called adrenochrome and doing awful things to children. Now, you might be thinking, Puppy Trades, this all sounds kind of unproven, right? You've shown me pictures of Joe Biden wearing a mask. You've shown me that the government is simulating the Cascadia subduction zone, and that we've already prepared for a redistricting of the United States. And you've shown me Joe Biden is wearing a mask, but, I need a little more proof. Okay, here's a little bit of proof. This account, the Rubber Duck, said in addition to the total wipeout of the Biltmore village in Asheville, the Biltmore estate owned by the Vanderbilt family, Anderson Cooper, was flooded out also. As it turns out, the sick pedo art below was owned by none other than Tony Podesta, proud member of the Red Shoe Club. So basically, this account predicted that this estate in Asheville, North Carolina, was going to be flooded out. He said that it was going to be flooded out because there are underground child trafficking centers where satanic ritual abuse takes place. As it turns out, the sick pedo child art below was owned by none other than Tony Podesta, proud member of the Red Shoe Club and brother to pervert and Pizzagate player John Podesta. The pale skinned boy featured hanging by his hands in the art photo below is alleged to be Anderson Cooper, where as a child he posed for the art. In the empty pool located in the basement underground of the now flooded out Biltmore estate. The Vanderbilt family, particularly Gloria, the mother, were known practitioners of black magic and members of the occult. Gloria's oldest son committed suicide at age 23. Note, Asheville is a child sex trafficking hub in the United States. It is known for having deep underground tunnels and a long history of occultism and satanic ritual abuse. So this account, before it was made official, predicted that the Biltmore estate in Asheville would be flooded out before it happened. So lo and behold, Hurricane Helene came and the Biltmore estate in Asheville was flooded out. They've also predicted the destruction of the Getty Museum, and I used this information to predict that Disney World would be flooded out also, which also happened with Hurricane Milton. Now let's talk about Hurricane Milton for a little bit because that was actually, for a moment, that was the biggest hurricane that had ever been recorded in human history. So not only do we have more airplane problems, not only do we have more earthquakes, we're getting stronger and stronger hurricanes. Now, the liberals are going to tell you that this is all being caused by climate change. I'm here to tell you that the government is going to tell you that it is because there is a planet approaching called Planet Nibiru, and they are causing these increasing seismic activity, increasing airplane problems, and stronger hurricanes. So Taylor Swift fans, this is just to get into predictive programming for the Seattle Beastquake. This has been in the works for a long time. This has been in the works for a long time. They have to tell everyone. So Taylor Swift fans, shake it off. Shake it off like the Cascadia subduction zone is about to be shaking off everything west of I-5. Everything west of I-5 is about to be hit by a tsunami. Everything west of I-5 is about to be hit by a tsunami when there is a megaquake. Taylor Swift fans shake it off, causing record-breaking seismic activity during Seattle shows. 9/11. The airplanes, like Boeing is headquartered in Everett, Washington. The airplanes hit the towers and the buildings cascaded. The conspiracy theorists said jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams, and the scientists said, no, you don't understand physics. One airplane hit a floor, and then those floors cascaded down. They cascaded down like the Cascadia subduction zone. Marshawn Lynch also caused an earthquake. Both of these celebrities have caused earthquakes in Seattle. This was called the Beast Quake. And they were playing the New Orleans Saints, who are known for having won a Super Bowl after Hurricane Katrina, where we almost had, what? FEMA camps. So FEMA, earthquakes, airplanes, Seattle, all of this is coming together. And it's all been programmed in your mind to accept the Cascadia subduction zone megaquake. More predictive programming, ancient aliens, celestial beings cause natural disasters. The Space Needle is located in Seattle. And you'll notice that Roku City has Seattle's Space Needle, and it has a monster coming out of the sea and destroying the city. So Roku City is predictive programming for the destruction of Seattle. They've got a monster coming out of the city and destroying the Space Needle. Ancient Aliens says that aliens caused the Japan tsunami in 2011 on March 11th, the same day the pandemic was declared. So they've been modeling this for a long time. The Seattle Fault earthquake scenario posits a 7.2 earthquake caused by a 62-kilometer, 40-mile long rupture on the northernmost strand of the Seattle Fault Zone from the Kitsap Peninsula to just east of Lake Sammamish. The scenario is based on an earthquake that probably caused a surface rupture of the fault in the Bellevue area thousands of years ago. This event caused 2 meters, 6.5 feet of surface displacement west of Lake Sammamish near Southeast 38th Street. Again, we have the Cascadia subduction zone being modeled. We have everything west of I-5. I-5 into the west is about to be destroyed. So I've acted on this information. I was driven out to Seattle by a FEMA agent, and now I have evacuated Seattle. I am in eastern Washington. More scenarios for this being run. This one was in June of 2024. A deeper look into where the really big one could occur. For the first time, NSF-funded researchers revealed a detailed look at the potential for a major earthquake off the coast of southern British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. The new study characterizes the Cascadia subduction zone, which includes the megathrust fault, like the Beastquake, where the large earthquakes initiate and spread, to inform potential earthquake and tsunami hazards. This Q-Anon lady's tweeting about Japan Airlines, Japan, like the Japan tsunami. A Japan Airlines jet has collided with Park Delta jet at Seattle Tacoma International Airport. First COVID-19 case was in Seattle. Like coronavirus means the crown virus, and the crown is the ring of fire. Tacoma Narrow Bridge fell in Tacoma, Washington. Space Needle, Mars Candy. Seattle is a very important location in this conspiracy theory. And what did this user say down here? I think Seattle is on the city list. The same city list that Asheville was on. The same city list that the Getty Museum was on. We had those Palisades fires. And the same city list that Disney World was on. So they're saying that Seattle is on this list of cities to watch. And the government is running these simulations, like how they simulated coronavirus before the pandemic in 2019 with Event 201. The government is simulating this. Hey, we're just trying to see, maybe this will happen. Maybe, right? Maybe this will happen. They know it's going to happen. And they're going to cause it because this event is 0 hour for the New World Order agenda. All conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein and 9/11 and whatever conspiracy theory, they're all part of this culminating event, the Cascadia subduction zone megaquake and the San Francisco megaquake. So here's where you come in. FEMA has asked me to form a black swan survival cult that knows about the Seattle Beastquake before it occurs. A large cult has been formed that believes Donald Trump remained president during Biden's administration, and he held military tribunals for these people for committing treason, cheating in the 2020 election, and consuming adrenochrome. More large earthquakes are coming that will be blamed on aliens from the approaching planet Nibiru. And you're not going to be able to deny this prediction. So when this all happens, you're all going to wake up. You're going to say, holy crap, Puppy Trays was right. And then you're actually going to meet me in these District 10 camps. And I'm going to be there with you. We're going to have so much fun. FEMA agents have come to my house and told me to decode them. I spent a year learning their federal codes. This is a Black Ops assignment. After the earthquake, we will go into a District 10 camp. Here's what you know. Historic hurricanes, increasing earthquake and airplane problems are being blamed on climate change and the FAA, will eventually be blamed on aliens approaching from planet Nibiru. With this knowledge, we will be more prepared for the government camps. So, we are all going to go into a camp. I am your cult leader, and I have been assigned by FEMA to form a Black Swan survival cult that knows about all these events before it happens. They're not going to be fooled by aliens. They're not going to be fooled by Q-Anon. You are the select few who know the truth. I'll see you in camp. Oh, perfect. 3, and then 5, 6, 11. 311 again. Damn, I'm good.